You know those stories where someone hits rock bottom, like they've lost everything, they're crying on the bathroom floor, and that's the moment where they decide to change their entire life. It's very dramatic, very movie material, but most of us aren't on the bathroom floor. We are on the sofa and we're watching Netflix and scrolling through Instagram. And I guess our lives are fine most of the time. But if you tell me your life is fine, what I'm picturing is this. You wake up in the morning feeling tired already. You're not dying, but you're like, meh. And then you drag yourself out of bed, you go to work, people appreciate you, you do a good job. Nobody's yelling at you, so everything is fine. Then you come back home, you're tired, exhausted, you have this mixed feeling of relief that the day is over, but you're also not excited about the next day, right? You don't wake up in the morning and you're like, ooh, I can't wait for the day to start. For most of us, this is what a fine life looks like. The problem with fine is not that it's totally unbearable. In fact, the problem is it's totally bearable. And that's why, in my opinion, a fine life can be much worse than some moments where your life seems bad. Because for sure, when something in your life is really bad, it can break you, and I don't wish that to anybody, but it can also wake you. You're forced to ask the hard questions, like something has to change, right? And when your life is fine, nothing forces you to change it. You don't have to go like, okay, this is not working for me. And you can really tolerate that for years. And in my opinion, these years at some point will start to accumulate and you'll notice the price of just living on autopilot. And while you are tolerating it, your life almost automatically rearranges itself around what's reliable, comfortable, practical, sensible. So how do you escape fine, if you ever wanted to, without blowing your entire life up? Because trust me, it's really not about quitting everything and moving to Bali. Not that I've done that, but I do believe that it's not the solution. And it's definitely not pretending that you're super happy because compared to someone else, you have it better. You probably know this voice in your head that goes like, well, other people have real problems. You don't, so you shouldn't be complaining. Or you have a salary, you have a job, you have a flat, you have people around you, so shut up. Or, hey, it's just adulthood. Everybody's tired, everybody's confused, live with it. Well, in my opinion, this is just gaslighting yourself, right? Because you look at your life on paper and everything looks fine and you're like, well, I should be happy, I should be grateful for what I have and I shouldn't want more. And yes, gratitude is great, perspective is important, but if you want more from life, in my opinion, it starts with one thing that you have to say to yourself and not to Instagram, which is, yes, my life is good, but that's not enough for me. You know, it's okay to want more for yourself. It's not arrogant, it's not ungrateful. You really have to break that rule of, I can't complain because everything is fine. Being grateful also doesn't mean you are not allowed to want something different or something more in your life. You know, these two things can coexist, like I am grateful for this life, but I also don't want this to be the final version. And you definitely don't have to wait for everything to burn down to say, I think I want something else. You know, you don't need to reach rock bottom as a permission to change your life and get what you want. You know, if we were actually sitting down together and you were telling me, well, my life is fine, but something feels off. I wouldn't tell you quit everything and move countries, but I also wouldn't tell you, well, that's just how life is, so move on. I would probably tell you something like, okay, then let's stop calling it fine. Because the more you repeat that it's fine, it's fine, it's fine, the more you convince yourself that things shouldn't change and that you should stay where you are. Try saying instead what it actually feels like. Like, my life works, but it doesn't really feel like I chose it. Or it's good on paper, but in reality I feel like I am looking at my life from the outside and it's mostly happening to me. And the moment you start putting this into words, I really believe that this is also the moment where you start noticing the bits in your life that aren't really yours, you know, like the stuff you do just because it's a habit and not something you want to do or decided to do or decided to keep doing, or the people you meet just because it's more convenient to say yes than to say no. And on the opposite, all the things you're not doing because you think it's too much work, it's too complicated, it's maybe a silly idea and so on. And if all this hits a nerve and you're like, yeah, my life is fine, but you feel stuck like I have for years now, then it really doesn't have to start with something huge, you know? For me, the first real change wasn't quitting my job or changing countries. If you've seen my first video, I was mentioning how building things makes me happy, you know? This is where I thrive on my own. And so when I decided to be more proactive about my life, then I decided to actually build the things that I was thinking of. And lately I love building mobile apps. So I sat down, I learned how to build mobile apps, and that's how I got started, you know? And in those moments, I feel so intentional, so fulfilled, because I'm basically producing something that I'm looking at and I'm like, hey, I am shaping this exactly the way I want it to be. You know, I'm putting something out there that is exactly how I intended it to be. And this is very fulfilling. And the second thing I did is this. I put my phone on a tripod, I started recording videos, and I posted my first and second videos on YouTube. And a couple of months ago, and for years, I would have said, never in my life am I gonna go public, so to speak, on social media. And I ended up doing this, which was very uncomfortable at the beginning, and it actually felt really good to see progress. Well, first of all, because I did something that I did not believe I would be able to do. And also I noticed the progress because it's becoming less and less awkward for me to record these videos. And this just feels good because I took something that was on my mind and I stopped thinking about it and I just did it. And trust me, whatever you have on your mind, that's something that you would like to do and you haven't, then I really encourage you to give it a try. I'm gonna talk about this in another video, but really don't think that you cannot do things because you have no idea what you're capable of. And I really don't want you to limit yourself to things you know or things that are safe. So before you swipe to the next video, just sit with one question for a second. Which parts of my life feel like me? And which parts of my life feel like I'm basically copy-pasting what everybody else is doing? And you don't have to fix your life tomorrow, but just be honest about the answer. My name is Gauthier. I'm in the middle of upgrading my life from fine to something I can really stand behind. And if you're somewhere in that same place, you're not the only one, and you really don't have to figure this out alone.